This show contains spoilers and adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Movies with Ron, movies with Ron.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
Movies with Ron.
Hey, did anyone see the 2 accidents on the way over here?
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I blew right through them because I came upon them before the police got there. In that magic moment when law and order do not exist. And if you're enough of an asshole, you can just blow through them and be like, at least it's not me. See, it's the cops that get there that make them take so long to get around, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I passed them both, and then I was on my way here, and this car stops right in the middle of the road in the turn lane, and the driver gets out, who looked pretty ghetto, gets out of his car, just starts shuffling across the street in front of my car, and I had to swerve to avoid hitting him.
You just started shuffling into traffic.
Seriously.
You say anything?
No.
Like, help me! I've been hypnotized!
Welcome to episode 76 of Movies with Ron, the podcast where my older brother recaps a movie he saw from beginning to end, for me and you, because we like his versions better. It's okay if you've seen the movie. It's okay if you haven't seen it. The experience is unique, so let's get it on. I'm Chris, your MC for the time being. Across from me, our sound guy, Rick.
What is going on, everybody?
Our older sister, Candy.
Hey, everybody.
Candy.
And here he is, folks.
He's the ball cracker, death on foot. You know him, you love him. He's Ron.
Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, gang, how's it going?
Hey, Ron.
Hey.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, not much. Here we go.
You guys ever seen a movie called Samurai Cop?
Of course.
No.
The Samurai Cop is played by Matthew Caritas. It came out in 1991. This is Matthew. A cult bad film. You know, everyone loves it.
Right.
Because it's so shitty. In 2015, they made Samurai Cop 2.
Seriously?
What?
Yeah. Starring Matthew Caritas.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
It's like the only movies he was in.
Wow.
Everyone involved in the first one wanted to be in it.
Yeah.
'Cause it was like a family reunion of sorts.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Anyways.
Is that in your list of favorite cult classics?
No, I will never see these movies. But the second one has Tommy Wiseau in it, just to add a little oomph in there for me.
A natural choice.
Yeah. The writer and director and star of The Room.
Yeah.
When am I supposed to do that, by the way?
In a couple of weeks.
All right.
Since we're going to be talking about superheroes tonight,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about my favorite superhero movie.
Hellboy 2?
a lot have come close to making it to the top of the list, but my favorite is the campy cult classic 1980s Flash Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Holds a beloved place in my heart.
You guys have a good time. I'm going to take a break.
He was too young to see it as a kid. That's the problem.
I know.
When you see it as a kid, oh, it just gets in there.
Hell yeah. Timothy Dalton?
Yes.
Come on.
Great supporting cast for a cheesy B movie.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Condor Man. You don't remember that one?
I do remember that.
That was great.
It's coming back, yeah. So, Chris, how old were you when you saw Flash Gordon?
Never seen it.
No way.
How many of them are there?
One. It did so badly, but now it's a total cult classic. But at the time, it followed Star Wars, and everybody got a taste for the serious drama of Star Wars, and that's what they wanted when they went to go see a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
And they rejected Flash Gordon, sadly.
Wasn't he like he played for the Jets?
Yeah,
He's
he
a football player.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like sucked into a galaxy and he's a hero and shit.
did. Yeah.
The great thing about Flash Gordon is he has no superpowers. Flash Gordon is based on the fact that any human man can go up against an alien foe and win because he's human. And because he has morals and heart and strength, and he will just best them with no real extraordinary powers.
It helped that he looked like an Adonis, though.
Yeah. Did you know that Dino De Laurentiis's mother-in-law saw him on the dating game and said, that guy needs to be Flash Gordon? Like, that's how that happened.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm totally serious.
Wow.
And the writer, when he talks about it, he seems a little hurt that it didn't do as good as Star Wars. Mm-hmm. He wanted to be known for a hit. And in an interview, he said, well, I really thought the screenplay could use some criticism, but Dino read it and he said, let's just go with it.
No, I blame him.
He's the only one I met with who read it.
It reminds me of Brian Bosworth. You guys know who he is?
Yes, I do.
Didn't he play for the Jets? And then he tried to be an actor. And he was in Stone Cold.
Yeah.
In 1991.
It's terrible.
I remember being a young lad and wanting to look like that motherfucker. I was like, this movie, it's got something to it. I never saw it, though. And neither did anyone else.
Yeah. I do look like him, and it's never gotten me anywhere. Speaking of spectacular body changes, has anybody seen Christian Bale in preparation to play
Dick Cheney?
Yeah.
Oh, I did see one picture. Yeah.
The one of him just standing by a wall smiling?
I think so.
Christian Bale.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is not. Fucking. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's smiling. He's like, look at these man boobs.
He is so pleased with himself. He's like smug. He's like, yep, I did it again.
Hey, you guys know that body changing thing I do?
God, he is not happy unless he's given a 150%.
I had to eat cheeseburgers. I almost died.
All right, Justice League.
First of all, I am just flat out amazed that they could take the most made fun of superhero and make him look like the most masculine, badass guy ever.
Oh, you mean Aquaman? Right?
Aquaman. Oh my God. Jason Momoa. Isn't that his name?
Yep.
That was a stroke of genius.
Yeah.
What they did there. I'm serious.
Give him long hair and a big cock. That's what he needs.
All right, the Justice League is a superhero team from DC Comics. People are complaining Justice League is too short.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. Everyone said Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman, too fucking long.
Yeah.
And they finally give them what they want. And what do they say?
Yeah.
It's too short.
It's not actually too short. It feels that way because of the pacing.
So it's like well-paced?
It's fast-paced, the story.
All right.
It was a very simple plot.
Bad guys are coming.
You don't need to be inside anybody's head in this movie.
All right, folks, get ready, because it's time for rubber suits, golden rope, and animatronics. It could be a porno, or it could be Justice League on Movies with Ron.
It's showtime.
Fuck you. All right, so we got like 500 fucking logos. Then we settle into some cell phone footage of these kids interviewing Superman. They're like 5-year-old kids interviewing him for their podcast.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, hey. If 5-year-old kids can do it, why can't we? And they're like, hey, so the S on your thing, it's not for Superman? He's like, no, it means hope. But it looks like an S. Yeah, it's meant to, it's meant to wind, like a river. And they're like, yeah, okay, cool. So what is your favorite thing about planet Earth? And he's like, you kids want to watch me jerk off? And I don't remember when it said the title card of the movie, so we'll do it here. Justice League, bitch. All right, so we cut to night. and, it's Gotham City, okay? And there's like trash blowing around the alleys and shit, and there's a fucking newspaper that says, Superman is dead. We're all fucked. We got this cat burglar who's like climbing out of a apartment window, and he's like, yeah, I got my shit. All right, this is cool. Life of crime, it pays. And then he looks over to the left, and sitting on like a fire escape of the next building is just like big old Batman. Just like sitting there waiting for him. And he's like, ah, fuck. So then Batman kicks his ass, and he like puts a grappling hook like on his back and then dangles him over the side of the building. And he's like, where's the trigger? And the guy's like, no, wait. What do you want from me? Batman just goes, fear. They can smell it. And then right then, this flying fucking demon monster just like comes up from the street and is like, and it's like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah.
And it's one of the bad guy Steppenwolf's, minions. Okay. Already happening. Apparently Batman has been tracking them and, knows they can smell fear. So it flies up and, he just tosses the crook back onto the roof and jumps his ass out there and catches the demon thing and like lets it fly off with him. And he's like beating up on it and shit. So he's flying around, and then there's a police siren that goes off, and the thing like starts going fucking crazy, like it's fucking it up,
Yeah.
Batman uses that opportunity to, whip its ass, I guess, and then he ends up back on the roof where the crook was. He shoots a fucking predator net onto it, all right, and then pins it to the wall. And he's like looking at it like, you scum. What are you doing in my city? And then it just fucking explodes in like green protoplasm. Leaves a mark on the wall that is 3 boxes. I don't know how. I don't know why. Right? Batman's like looking at it. What does it mean? Alfred's like watching what's happening like from the Batcave, and he's like, what the fuck? Then the crook has been watching this the whole time, and he's like, holy shit, man, is that a fucking alien? Alien from space? Like, Superman's dead, and now all the aliens are coming here? Jesus, man. Where does that leave us? And Batman just like looks back at him like, asshole. Like all hope is lost because there is no Superman. You say that to Batman. And Batman just like fucking jumps off the building. Lets the guy go. It's fine. So then we cut to Superman's funeral, and it's like a big montage of the sadness of the world now that Superman's dead. Lois is like in bed crying, looking at her dildo, putting it back in the drawer. Aww. We see Superman's mom, and she has lost the farm. Not bought the farm. She's still alive. But it was foreclosed. There's a whole bunch of crime in the city and shit like that, and then we finally settle on to like this homeless guy. He looks pretty bad. Looks pretty rough. And he's just holding up a sign that says, I tried. And I was like, damn. The most powerful image in this movie. So then we see this white van, and it pulls up in front of like a museum or some shit, and like all of these well-dressed, suited gunmen can't come out, They all storm into this building, and they are here to fuck shit up. Taking people hostage and shit. Now up on top of another building is Wonder Woman, like standing on top of a statue of Lady Justice or some shit. She finally jumps in there and grabs one of the goons with the lasso of truth. And she's like, the lasso of truth compels you to tell the truth. Now tell me who you are. What's up with you? And he's like, cock, I need cock. She's like, so do I. Anyway, you're too late. In a few minutes, 4 city blocks are just gonna go boom, bitch. And the leader of the terrorist group, he's like, in a room with a whole bunch of kids. It was like a school field trip. And he's like, open up the briefcase full of explosives. And he's like, setting the timer for 20 seconds. Like it's like a big suicide mission or some shit. And he starts saying some shit like, yes, let's get on with the dark ages and the safety of holy fear. So then Wonder Woman busts in. And it's all. She kicks everybody's ass, grabs the bomb. It's like a second from blowing up. And she just throws it out the roof of the building and it explodes. But then the coolest thing happens. That guy is like, oh, really? Okay, well, I got a machine gun here and I'm going to kill every one of these fucking kids. And he just like full auto opens fire on the entire class. Wonder Woman runs in front of them and deflects every single bullet with her magic gauntlets of sex.
Wow.
Then it cuts to Bruce, and he is in some little fishing village off in Iceland, and he's in the bar, which the whole town is in, and there's only like 50 people. It's a fishing village. All right, I am aware that you guys are starving sometimes, and there's a stranger. He shows up every so often and like gives you guys fish. And everybody's just staring at him. And one of those fuckers is big old Jason Momoa. And he's like holding his big dick.
Every day's a workout when you got to carry around a 20-pound python in your jeans.
Yeah. And he's like standing there stroking it real slow while he's listening to this yuppie talk. Anyway, yeah, I need to talk to this stranger. He's, I know he's special. And I will give you guys $25,000 to talk to him outside right now. Turns out nobody speaks English. And Aquaman says in their language, something tells me he's going to give it to me anyway, guys. And they all laugh. He's like, he doesn't want to fucking talk to you. And then Bruce is like, well, then could you point me in the direction of Atlantis? Aquaman don't like that. Like, shit, they're on to me. So he throws him out, okay? But Bruce saw a painting on the wall of, like, fucking Jason Momoa, like giving fish to the people of the village, okay? And on that drawing, there's these 3 boxes, okay? We saw that when the monster blew up. Bruce is like, could you please tell me what those 3 boxes mean? Get fucked. It's ancient history, man. You don't get to hear that shit. So they're walking out, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to need your help, because there is some shit coming, I think, and stuff's going bad. And Aquaman's like, seriously? Like, you do this dressed like a bat, huh? Like, yeah, I dress like a bat.
He was in Batman attire in the bar?
Fuck. No.
I thought he was in a suit.
He was in a suit. He's Bruce Wayne. Did I say Bruce Wayne or Bruce Willis?
Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne. You said Bruce Wayne.
I've had a couple of drinks. So then Bruce Willis. He's like, hey, watch me jerk off. Shut up and stand there. Don't talk. Don't look at me either. Yeah, no, he's just Bruce Wayne. But he was telling Aquaman, in the process of him taking him outside, that he's Batman.
Oh, I see.
Like, you dress like a bat. For real? He's like, yeah, it's worked for 20 years. It's worked for 20 years. Swear to me. Anyway, probably the end of the world is coming, man. So, like, I could use your help. And he's like, well, get fucked. I don't want to help you. And, I don't mind if the oceans, rise or whatever. Okay? The end of the world. And then Bruce is like, what if they boil? So he leaves and he goes and gets in his bat plane, I guess, with Alfred. And Alfred's like, there's 3 boxes. We saw those in Luthor's notes. Lex Luthor. Okay, remember he's in prison. Mm-hmm. Then Alfred gets up into Bruce's face and he goes, I killed Mufasa. By the way, I found Barry Allen. He you were looking for him. Every week he goes to this prison to meet his dad, who's in there for killing his mom. Also, that football player you were looking for, Victor Stone, he's dead. One misses the days of old wind-up penguins. So these are other fuckers he's looking for to build his team. So it cuts to Barry Allen, little Ezra. And he's in line to visit his dad in prison. He's got to sign some forms and shit, and some asshole behind him is like, hey, hurry the fuck up. And then he's like, he turns around and looks at him. And then there's this quick little lightning flash moment where you can tell he did something, like super fast. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, okay, no problem, I'll hurry up. And then he leaves. And we see that the guy now has Sharpie marker like all over his face, and he drew him like a mustache and glasses and shit. Barry Allen's dad is Billy Crudup. Crudup. His dad's like, listen, man, you need to do something with yourself. You're a smart kid, man. You got to give me up, baby. You got to stop coming in here, all right? You got to do something with your life. Ezra's like, no. So then we cut to Star Laboratories, which is built around the crashed Kryptonian ship in the middle of Metropolis. Walking around inside is Miles Dyson. He's like walking, he's an important guy. And it turns out he is the father of the dead football player, Victor Stone. And there's like a janitor there who's like, Mr. Dyson, I'm really sorry about your son. And then Miles is just like, I don't know how much longer I can hold this. And then he just goes home. At home is his dead, resurrected son, Vic. All right, Victor. We see him from the back, and he's wearing all this sweatpants and sweatshirt. So we don't know he's a giant robot yet, Anyway, he is not happy about being a robot or a Terminator now.
Yeah.
And Miles is like, Victor, come on, man. It's going to be fine. You can have a life. You don't have to sit here in the apartment all damn day. I lost your mom in that accident, and I just couldn't bear to lose you too. You know what I'm saying? And then Victor turns around, and we see under his hood, he is fucking Cyborg. And then he just says,
I am consciousness. I am alive. I am Jeppy.
So he is Jeppy. Johnny Five is alive. He's like, I wake up every day, Dad, and I got like new upgrades and shit. I don't know what the fuck's happening to me. Turns out Miles used the Kryptonian technology that he found in the ship to like resurrect his son. He's like fucking playing God and shit. He's like, what do you mean you got new abilities every morning? And then Cyborg just flies up in the air like a foot. And he's hovering there, and his dad's like, holy fuck, dude! And Cyborg's like, I couldn't do this yesterday, man. It's like, he is awesome.
Yeah.
He just looks like a fucking Terminator. He's like, every day on the news, everybody's talking about, the next alien invasion, and now I gotta think whether or not I am that alien invasion. And then we see that janitor who, was talking to Miles Dyson. He's like mopping the floors and jerking off. And then we see one of those demons is like in the Kryptonian ship, like looking for shit. So they're here. They're queer. Get used to it, all right? And then we cut to Whore Island. And we got the boss lady, okay? Princess Diana's mom. Leading all the Amazons, okay? She's walking around, checking shit out. Walks into this big guard room that they have, and there's like this one cube, magic cube, sitting in the middle of the room. And there are like hundreds of Amazons, pointing bows and arrows at the box, okay? And it's like, this is like a normal day.
Now, I heard they were more scantily clad in this movie than they were in the Wonder Woman movie. Is that true?
Sure.
Why do you think they did that?
Well, who doesn't like a little leg thrown on them? I don't know. It's because of one of those... Harvey Weinstein. He made them do it. They're talking about this box. All of these ladies are talking about the box. Paying very close attention to it. Anyway, turns out they're all in their garden because they say that it has just woken up. And it's sitting there and it's kind of trembling a little bit. So I guess that's why they're all in there. Anyway, then it fucking starts shaking and it cracks. And they're all like, oh, shit! And then this thing appears in the room and it's a big, stormy, blowy tube that just comes down out of the sky, down into this temple. I read now that it's called a boom tube. Coming out of the boob tube is a big devil man. And his name is Steppenwolf. And he's like, hey, man. Nah, he's like, looking at the box. And he's like, oh, the mother box, mother chaos, mother something. You have exiled me, and now at last you call me home. And he's here. He's here for that box. He wants the ladies' books. You say he wants his mother's books? Disgusting. Disgusting. And then, all of those flying demons come in. They're called like parademons. I don't know. I just called them like buzzy men. Because that's what they look like. They look like bumblebee men.
Yeah.
They all come in, and then everybody starts fucking fighting. All right, so the boss lady is like, get the box, fucking take it away from Steppenwolf, and then keep it moving, baby. You gotta keep it out of his reach. So she snags it with a glowing lasso of her own and yanks it right out of that guy's... He was just about to grab it. She yanks it out of his hand. He just looks at her and goes, death. At that point, I was like, hey, maybe he's pretty cool. But that was the coolest thing he did, so no. She runs out, and they do. They keep it like... They keep it moving, just like the plans to the Death Star from Darth Vader, you know?
Yeah.
Pass it down. Die as you're doing it. And they get out of the temple, and then they, like, seal the shit. Like 500 women just died to do this. So now they got the box, and they're riding across the prairie over there on Horror Island. And then all of a sudden, Steppenwolf just, like, boom, jumps out of the temple. Like, breaks through it and jumps, like, 4 miles. And is now already on their tail.
So what does he look like?
He looks like Big Devil Man. He looks like oversized Freddy Krueger with a hat that has horns on it.
Yeah.
They're not real horns.
Okay.
It's also got a big giant penis. Only the head is hairy. That's what I imagined. It's like something's going to be backwards about his penis. Why is his name Steppenwolf? All right, he's chasing him. All right, shut up about his penis, Candy. Chasing him. They're fucking taking the box. Okay, so they'll like wrap a rope around the box, tie that rope to an arrow, and then like fire it 2 miles further down the line. It's pretty cool how they keep taking it away from him. Anyway, he finally catches it, beats the shit out of everybody, and he's like, why are you fighting me? You will love me when I take over the fucking world. And then the whole rest of the Amazon army shows up, and they're riding down the hill, and there's like Gandalf, and he's like leading them and shit. And Steppenwolf is just like, you all will. And then he goes up the boob tube and leaves. The boss lady's like, all right, light the warning fire. So they light an arrow, and then they fire it across the earth, and it lands in a temple in Athens. One of the ladies is like, they're not going to know what that means, man. The warning fire hasn't been used in 5,000 years. They won't, but she will. She fires it, and she's like, listen to me, Diana. And then we cut to Diana, and she's like, scrubbing a statue in a museum. And her boss walks up to her, and he's like, no, pictures, please, no. The Upper West Side. He's like, what did you do last night? Oh, nothing exciting, you know. And then she looks over at the news and sees that fire on the news. They're like, there's a temple on fire in Athens. We don't know what to do. And she's like, oh shit, that's the warning fire. Invasion. Now we cut to Lois and Martha, the 2 saddest ladies in the world.
Oh.
And they're talking about how hard life is. Lois doesn't do any, hardcore reporting anymore. She just covers like lost cats and shit like that. Fluff pieces. She's a fluffer. Martha's like, yeah, I don't know. I was just your mother-in-law. Oh, you guys were never married. I'm so sorry. She's like, yeah, I just lost all my heart when he died, and I just can't do these, hardcore stories anymore. And then something happened. Then Martha misspeaks, and she's like, oh, yeah, Clark, he always said you were going to win the next Pulitzer Prize, and he said you were just the thirstiest woman he ever met. And then the whole theater just like laughs its ass off. And I was like, what? And she corrects herself. She's like, oh, I mean the hungriest. Was that like a sex joke? I don't know. Like, why did everybody laugh at that?
No, I don't know.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, now hang on. Maybe I told it wrong. I don't think so, though. So then Cyborg is like sitting there, and I guess he's got a new upgrade. And he gets like holograms coming out of his fingers, and he's able to like access the internet and shit. Seriously, the guy can like hack anything. He can do anything. This movie makes you wish you were Cyborg, kind of. And he's like looking at pictures of Bruce Wayne, and I guess he like figures out that he's Batman. I don't know. So it cuts to Bruce, and he's like in the Batcave with Simon Gruber. And Alfred's like working on a siren, and he's like, did the siren sound like this? And he's like playing these different police sirens, and then Bruce is like, no. No? Okay, that's it. That's the one that made him go crazy. Yeah, put that in the suit so I can like use it on him later, you know? It's like, yeah, cool. Now we see what Bruce is doing. He's like turning wrenches and working on something, and it's huge. And it turns out he's got a spaceship. He's working on it when Diana walks in, and she's like, hey, Bruce, what's going on? Simon. She's like, what the hell's this, man? He's like, I'm building a transport for my team. By the way, there's an invasion coming. She's like, no, it's not coming. It's here. And he's like, well, tell me what the hell's going on. She's like, okay, there are these things called the mother boxes, and that's the 3 boxes. They don't just contain power, they are power. And when you put them together, they form the unity, which then has the power to like wipe fucking worlds clean and like just turn them into fucking red sky fire paradises, you know, I don't know. And this fucker, Steppenwolf, like that's what he's trying to do. And we get this really cool flashback. She talks about the last time Earth had to fight Steppenwolf. And it was the humans, the Amazons, and the Atlanteans. They all teamed up to fight Steppenwolf. And he had already, like, joined the mother boxes into the Unity. So, like, you know, yep, the planet was turning into a fireplace. And they're all fucking fighting him and his buzzer men armies and shit. And the fucking coolest thing, there are Green Lanterns flying around helping them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then one of the Green Lanterns does what they do, and he's like, batting these buzzy men away with like a giant cartoon hammer. And I was like, why do people like the Green Lantern? There were also Greek gods helping him out, like Zeus was there, I think. Anyway, they ended up driving Steppenwolf away, and it drove him mad, and he went into exile and shit. They then separated the 3 boxes, gave one to the Atlanteans, one to the Amazons, and then one to the humans. And now he is back for his mother's boxes. Yeah, well, how long until, he turns the world into fire? Probably just a couple of days at most. All right, shit. They're meeting in like a central park or something like that, or a forest. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go find Barry Allen, and you are going to go find the Cyborg kid. She's like, yeah, okay. So they leave, and we see that the Cyborg is there already watching them. Like, he fucking knows what he's doing. So we got Barry Allen, and he walks into his apartment, which is all super techy and fucking cool and also trashy and shitholy. And he's got Rick and Morty playing on one of his 200 TVs and monitors. Bruce is already in there waiting. He's jerking it. He says, I know you have abilities. I just don't know what they are. Yeah, well, no, I don't know what you're talking about, man. You got a flash suit right over there. It's made out of like super diamond dust, I don't know, fucking shielding. It's the shit that they put on space shuttles, man. It's for like super heat, friction. Yeah, I do ice dancing. Like hardcore ice dancing. And then Bruce just stands up, turns around, and throws a fucking batarang at him. And then Barry Allen like goes into flash mode. And when he is like moving super fast, everything else is basically standing still, but he is like surrounded by blue lightning. So he's standing there watching this batarang like fling past him really slow, and he's looking at it like, oh, holy shit. He lets it go past him, and then he reaches back and he catches it. And he just turns to Bruce and he's like, so holy shit, you're Batman. Yeah, I'm putting a team together.
I will suck your fucking dick. I will do it. Just join my team.
Barry's like, stop. I mean, you're in? What do you got? I need friends. I got a problem. I'm pretty antisocial and shit. Like, and, there's things about humans that I just, people that I just don't understand. Like, what the hell is brunch? You wait in line for hours to eat lunch. I don't get it. So he's already joined the team. Like, he took no convincing whatsoever. They're walking out and they're getting into Bruce's like super fancy car. And we learn that Barry has to constantly eat because every time he uses super speed, blah, blah, blah. So he's eating a pizza and he's like, hey, so, how many people are on our team? 3. They get in and he's like, so what are your superpowers? I'm rich. So now it cuts to Diana, and she is there with Alfred. She's looking on the internet, looking at footage of this cyborg kid, before he was a cyborg. He was a football player. And then all of a sudden, across her screen, words just come up, and it's like, why are you looking for me? And I was like, damn, this guy's cool. She's like, I want to talk to you. And it just says, you are. She's like, no, I want to talk to you face to face. Fuckhead. Why should I trust you? Because if I was going to attack you, I would have done it in the woods. And it's like, oh, shit, she knew he was there. Cool. So she goes and meets him, and, it's like some abandoned street. And it's cool because he's like hacked the city power grid, and he like makes all the power go out on the street so they can talk. And he shows up, and he is a fucking Terminator. She's like, you want to join our team? He's like, fuck you. No, I work alone. I know that you've lost someone. I lost somebody too. His name was Chris Pine. Like, I had sex with him one time, like 40 years ago. And it was hard to let him go, but I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. I know you're working on it too. And then he just like, fucking leaves! He just flies up into the air. Like, I've had enough of this bullshit.
Wow.
Yeah. A dick move.
He has no dick. That's why he's so pissed off.
It's true. This man has no dick. So then we get this really cool sequence, okay? And there is a fishing boat out in a storm, and it's sinking. And the fisherman is like, oh shit, I'm fucked. And then Aquaman just like swims out, jumps up onto the boat, and there's like this really cool beauty shot of him standing on it in the storm. And then it just cuts to him like carrying that asshole over his shoulder into the fishing village bar. And he slams him down on the table. And he goes, whiskey. And one for Ahab here. Guy pours him a shot, he drinks it, and then he looks at his hand and he's got like green goo shit. Protoplasm on his hand. Like it was on the fisherman. And then he takes the rest of the bottle and he just walks out. He looks at the bartender, he's like, it's on him. And then he walks out, and there's like this storm raging, and there's like waves crashing up onto shore, and it's just like, fucking Jason Momoa. Walking. And he just chugs this whole bottle of whiskey and just throws it. It was beautiful. Then he dives into the ocean and he goes down to Atlantis, where the Atlanteans are all busy crafting the finest pocket pussies known to man. That's where they got the other mother box, okay? Steppenwolf is already there attacking it with his motherfuckers. And, but this time it's all underwater. So he's like, and he gets attacked by this, like, hot redhead, who we can tell is going to be in more movies with, Aquaman. Turns out her name is Mira. You know this? I'm not a DC guy. I don't fucking know.
Is she Amber Heard?
Yes, yes.
It's like his wife or something in the movie.
No, not right now.
Queen or something?
All right, slow down.
All right.
So she's trying to beat Steppenwolf off of her box. And Aquaman finally swims in, and it's all fucking cool looking. It's all underwater effects, bubble balls and shit. And he goes in there and takes on Steppenwolf, and he just gets his ass handed to him, okay? He gets, like, thrown into some big pillar, and then the whole thing just comes crashing down. It's pretty fucking cool. Anyway, the fucker gets the box and then just leaves, goes up the boob tube, okay? It was right around here where I was like, I think he's a pretty stupid bad guy. He's not that cool looking. He's not entertaining enough.
Yeah.
Then Aquaman's talking to the redhead. She's like, holy shit, the son of Atlantis, you finally showed back up. You're the son of Queen so-and-so and the king. And it turns out the queen had him, gave birth to him, and then left him on the doorstep of the king. And then she left? I don't know. Anyway, he never knew his mother.
They're talking underwater?
Good point. They form a bubble of air that, like, fills the whole room, and then they can talk. But they're still, like, wet and sexy. That reminds me, that got a pretty big laugh in the theater. When Bruce Wayne was first talking to Aquaman, he was like, so I hear you talk to fish. Yeah, whatever. She's like, I knew your mom. She raised me. He's like, well, why didn't she raise me? When this kind of shit happened, your mom, she knew it was her responsibility. She would have gone up there and kicked that guy's ass. So now it's your responsibility, and you got to do that. And he just goes, then I'm going to need something from you. Watch me jerk off. Then it cuts. To him jerking off. No. That comes later. Now we cut to Russia, okay? And there's like a, cute little Russian family in there. It turns out they live in a little town called Lickensy-Dicken, which is at the base of a big nuclear power plant. Nuclear. Which is now the new home base of Steppenwolf and the Buzzmen.
Russia?
Yes.
Damn.
Steppenwolf is like giving some monologue, and he's like, with the death of the Kryptonian, this entire planet was plunged into terror. And once I figured that out, that's why I came back, bitches. And now I've got 2 of these boxes, baby. Now, my Buzzmen, my minions, go find the last one for the Unity, for Darkseid. Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, Darkseid is like the Thanos of the DC universe, I guess.
Oh.
He's pretty serious shit. So the Amazons took their box and put it in the temple. The fucking Atlanteans took it underwater. The humans took their box and buried it.
Okay.
So there you go. So now we cut to Jim Gordon, J.K. Simmons.
All right.
And he's doing investigations. People are like, hey man, there's like kidnappings like happening all over the country and shit. And they all have one thing in common, witnesses, they're drawing pictures of the guy that's taking them, and he shows it to him, and it looks like a picture of fucking Batman. It's like a kid's drawing. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. He fights crime in this city for 20 years, and then he starts kidnapping people. Sure. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. Go turn on the bat signal, assholes. So right then, Bruce Wayne is showing up in his Wayne plane with Barry Allen.
Are they in their suits?
Nah, man. If they're in their suits, I'll call them Batman and the Flash. And Barry Allen's like, oh shit, man, it's a bat signal. That's your fucking thing. That means we gotta go now, right? Like that's... Yeah, that's what that means. Swear to me! So they go meet Jim Gordon on the rooftop, and they are now Batman, the Flash, and Wonder Woman is there. Who is hot as fuck. By the way. The Flash is like all embarrassed and sheepish around her and shit. Gordon's like, yeah, they've taken 8 people. And then Cyborg shows up and he's like 9 because they just kidnapped Miles Dyson.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, now it's serious. Yeah, so these, these fucking buzzmen, they're taking people and they're going underground. They're underneath Gotham Harbor, we think. So, if you guys could, and Gordon turns around to show them Gotham Harbor. He turns back around and only the Flash is standing there. And he's like looking at him. And then he looks around and he's like, oh shit. Oh man, they just left, didn't they? Damn, that's rude. And then he just fucking bolts away. And there's like lightning when it happens. So now they all gotta go down a giant hole. Steppenwolf is down in the hole. And he's got these 9 people. Turns out they're all employees from Star Labs around the country. And he's done this because he knows that Star Laboratories found the last mother box. And he's picking them up one by one, like, where's the box? And they're like, I don't know. And he just kills them. One guy's like, please don't kill me. I have a family. And he's like, why does everyone keep saying that to me? They go down this hole and they know that Steppenwolf is like right around the corner, man. The Justice League, whatever, the team. And the Flash stops Batman and he's like, hey, wait. Okay, check this out. I know you guys are like super excited to go in there and like do battle and shit. But here's the thing. I've never actually done battle. Okay. I've just like pushed people and then ran away. So I am actually pretty shit in my pants here. And then Batman just looks at him. He's like, 1 person. What do you mean? Just go in there and save 1 person. Okay. And then what? And then you'll know. So it's like, he'll decide to be a hero.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
So Steppenwolf then gets attacked by Wonder Woman. She slams down onto this catwalk and it's like... And he's like, oh, Amazon. He looks at all his buzzy men. He's like, she's mine. And he shows her his dick. My axe is still slick with the blood of your sisters. She's like, come on, motherfucker. So the Flash like jumps into where the hostages are, and the first guy he saves is Miles Dyson. You know, he moves so fast, he just looks like he's teleporting. Mm-hmm. So they just appear in this room outside, and the Flash is just like, all right, cool. And he just kind of stands there, like he doesn't know what to do next. Wonder Woman's in there fighting Steppenwolf, and Batman gets on the radio. He's like, Alfred, I need the Nightcrawler. Okay, I'm engaging autopilot. And it turns out Batman has this thing called the Nightcrawler, and it is a giant spider tank. And it's pretty cool. And it like climbs down the big giant hole and goes in there. So Steppenwolf and Wonder Woman, they're like fighting. Steppenwolf uses a big giant axe, okay? And, you know, she's got a sword. They're clanging all over the place. And then Batman is in this spider tank and he like climbs up and he joins the fight. And he's like, sorry guys, I didn't bring a sword. And then he just like starts filling Steppenwolf with bullets from like the miniguns or Sam Penny guns on the tank.
Yeah.
I use guns. Shit's blowing up, and then all of them, including the spider tank, they all fall now. So they're falling, and Diana loses her sword, and she's like diving after it. The Flash sees that shit, and he's like, oh, all right. He goes into Flash mode, and he's like running along the walls of this giant hole that they're in. It's like 100 feet across. It's a big hole in the ground. It's like a big spillway for Gotham Harbor. So he runs up to the sword, and then he just pushes it with his finger, and it flies backwards into Diana's hand. So now they hit the ground, and Diana's just standing there, and the Flash is like, yeah, I just helped you find your sword. Oh, holy shit. The Nightcrawler then falls on top of him, and he like zips her out of the way just in time. Now they're laying on the ground, and he is on top of her. And she looks at him like, hey.
Oh, wow.
And he like, is just like standing straight. You know, like embarrassed. And he's like looking down at her. She's hot as fuck. And she's just like, all right, fine. Then Cyborg jumps into the Nightcrawler, which is now upside down. And he has like little robot worms coming out of his fingers. And it goes into the computers in the Nightcrawler and he hacks it. And he says over the radio, it's okay, Alfred, I'll take it from here. Do I know you? Then Cyborg like makes the Nightcrawler like crawl up the wall and then flop down so it's right ways up.
Yeah.
And then he fires this big fucking missile right at Steppenwolf, who catches it while its little engine is like still burning and like, wow. And he's just holding it and he looks at it, he's like, primitive beings. And then he just lets go of it and sends it back at him. And it's like, holy shit. And it hits the wall and like makes a big explosion. Somebody looks at Batman. They're like, hey, what are we underneath? And he goes, Gotham Harbor. And then the whole place fucking floods. And it's like, fuck. Oh. They're all running away from the flood. And then, yep, Aquaman shows up. He jams his giant cock into the ground. And he stops the water, you know. Not completely. It's like kind of overtaking him a little bit. And then Steppenwolf is like, you were a distraction. Mother is calling. And then he fucking leaves. So then they all get out and they realize Cyborg is not there. And he has flown back to Star Labs and already is now back again with the third mother box. And he talks about, you know, how Star Laboratories found it and shit. And his father was fucking around with it. And that's how he ended up inventing him. So he makes him into like a living machine. So Cyborg is the product of the box. It's not like his father is some giant, awesome robot scientist. Yeah. Uh-huh. And then Batman's like, too much life. It's like, what are you talking about, Batman? Jesus. And he goes, this thing, you know, it gives life and shit like that, you know, but this thing is powerful enough to reshape planets, okay? Now, what if you were stronger than a planet? You know what I'm talking about, guys? Like, what if you were stronger than a planet and then you died? Maybe this thing is powerful enough. And they're all like, oh shit, to resurrect Superman. And he's like, yeah, that's what we need to do, you guys. Swear to me. Yay. And Flash is like, resurrect Superman? Like, bring him back to life? But like in the happy way, right? Not like a Pet Cemetery way. They're like, yeah. Diana's like, Bruce, no. And he's like, why? You know, come on. The Earth needs a symbol. It's fucking great. She's like, why? Why you want to do this? Because of your guilt? And he's like, bitch. It's getting personal now. You know, because she is blaming him for killing Superman.
Yeah.
She's like, you need to just move on. And he goes, oh yeah, did Chris Pine tell you that? Oh, that pisses her off. She fucking punches him in the gut.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
And he goes flying back. Cyborg's like, hey, you guys, hey, Bruce. So I was running the numbers on what you were talking about, you know, while you were over there being an asshole to Diana. And this just might work. Like, this might be able to resurrect Superman. So maybe we try it. Wonder Woman don't like it, but, you know, she's a part of the team. It's fine.
As Mr. Sloman always says, there's no I in team, but there is an I in pie. There's an I in meat pie.
And we cut to Alfred and Bruce, and they're, like, busy putting that, police siren into the Batmobile. He's like, yeah, this ought to drive those fuckers crazy, but, remember the contingency plan. If this fails, we gotta break out the big guns. Alfred's like, holy Toledo! Those are very big guns. Come on, man, you have a team. And it cuts to Cyborg and the Flash digging up Superman's dead body.
Oh, wow.
Flash is like, hey, isn't this fucked up? Cyborg's like, yep. So they're carrying this fucking casket. And I was like, wouldn't it be like super heavy?
Yeah.
They take it and they break into the Kryptonian ship, which has an amniotic like tank or something. Remember that shit from the other Superman movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put Superman's body in the water. His body looks perfect. He's just asleep. And you remember those little Superman keys that they used to have?
Yeah.
Cyborg just like scans the keyhole and then makes one out of his palm.
Oh, wow.
Fucking badass. So he's like interfacing with the computer and he's like, yeah, sorry guys. Lex Luthor fried this shit when he was like making his monster. Okay, so now there's not enough of a charge in it to activate the box. Batman's like, I'll activate your box. The Flash is like, hey, guys, seriously, I think I can do it. If I get some distance, and run up to it, I can generate enough electricity and then I can charge the box. I'm like, all right. So he like runs way to the back of the ship. Okay. Cyborg's like, you have to touch the box the second it hits the water. Okay. And he's like, yeah, gotcha. So they do this counting down shit and then the Flash starts running. And they do it all in slow motion, of course, and it is very cool. The very moment that the box touches the liquid, the Flash like fucking zaps it with electricity. It's pretty fucking cool. Anyway, right then, Clark Kent's fucking eyes open.
Oh.
And it's like, whoa! And he just fucking shoots up out of the top of the ship, just blows a big hole in it, and flies up into the air. And he comes crashing down and lands where his broken statue is, which is all still there as a memorial. And he's out there, and he's bare-chested. I guess they buried him bare-chested? I don't know. Or the Justice League was like, take off his shirt. Not his pants, though.
Oh, it's a separate shirt and pants thing? All right. I thought it was one big suit.
Of what?
Superman's suit?
He wasn't buried in his Superman suit.
Okay.
Now I get it. And Wonder Woman is like, holy shit, he's back. She looks at Batman. She's like, he is not going to want to see you first. So, fuck off. Go somewhere else. And the other four of them go out to where he is. So it's Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg, and Wonder Woman. Superman turns around and he's all like confused and like not knowing what the fuck's going on, and he like looks at them all and then he starts scanning them with his X-ray vision and he like looks at the Cyborg, okay, who is just a fucking robot with like a heart and a skull. Aquaman just goes, yeah, he's not all right. And Aquaman is like getting all like aggressive, like getting ready for a fight. Wonder Woman goes, no, it's fine. He's just confused. And then the Flash goes, Pet Cemetery. Cyborg's like robot half like can read what's going on. It reads Aquaman's heartbeat. And Cyborg says, Aquaman, you need to calm the fuck down, man. I can hear your heartbeat and it's fucking with my self-defense system. Okay. So then his arm like turns into a rocket and they're like, dude, stop. What are you doing? He's like, I can't help it, man. It's the self-defense system. It does it on its own. Once it reads, shit's going wrong, And they're like, wait. And he ends up shooting a missile at Superman.
Oh, no.
Who ain't liking that shit. And he immediately fucking attacks him. And he's like shooting him with heat vision. Okay. Cyborg makes a little shield out of his arm and like takes most of it. It's pretty cool. Anyway, now I read that this is the best we're going to get of what's called Dark Superman.
Okay.
And he ends up taking them all on, like assuming they're bad guys, I guess. I don't fucking know. They all have to fight Superman. It's fucking horrendous, and it is cool as shit.
Wow.
He ends up grabbing two of them, like one in each arm, and then another one comes up and grabs his arms, like trying to pull him off of his buddies. And it's just the Flash, like sitting there watching what's going on, like, holy shit. And then he starts like running real fast around him, like, it's cool. I'm the Flash, you know, I can do shit to him, and he, you know, he'll be moving real slow. While he's running around him, Superman, he's still holding the other three, but he's like watching him. And it's like, oh fuck, he can like see how fast he's going. It's really fucking cool.
That is cool.
The Flash gets a look on his face like, oh shit. He ends up throwing the other three and then chasing the Flash, like coming over to him. And it's like, oh fuck, man. So he kicks the shit out of him. And then, you know, Flash is down, like down for the count. And, Superman, he's got Wonder Woman. He's about to kill her. And she's like, don't make me do it, man. Don't make me do it. And she's about to clang her gauntlets together to like blow him away, right?
Yeah.
And he runs up really fast and slips his hand in between them to block her from doing that. So then he's got her and he is going to fucking kill her. And Batman fucking shows up. Superman drops her and he's like, I know you. You did this to me, you motherfucker. And he fucking grabs Batman. He grabs him and he holds him up and he's like, you won't let me live. You won't let me die. And he gets up in his face and he's like, tell me, do you bleed? And it's like, oh, fuck. Batman looks at him and he's like,
Come on, just tell me what you want me to fuck. Just tell me what you want me to fuck.
And then he gets on the radio and he says to Alfred, break out the big guns. And then a car pulls up and Lois gets out. Oh. Yeah. Superman looks at her and he just throws Batman over his shoulder and walks towards her. And you hear Batman hit the ground later, like far away. He walks up to Lois and they share a touching moment. And, you know, he's crying, she's crying. She's like, let's just go. And then he just holds her and they fly upwards and they leave. And then we see Batman and he's like laying on the ground. And he's just feeling all over his body. He's like, yeah, something is definitely bleeding. So Superman took Lois back to his farm. And for some reason, she looks at him and she's like, you smell good. And he goes, did I not before? And it just cuts away back to the Batcave. And the Justice League, you know, they're all arguing because they woke up Superman and he pretty much told them to fuck off. And they still, you know, notwithstanding, they still have to go find these fucking boxes, you know? So Cyborg is like, okay, I'm going to scan the planet and try to find them. Batman goes to Aquaman and he's like, can you, like, you can talk to fish. Can you see if the fish, like, know what's going on, you know? No, it's the oceans that do the talking, dude. Batman's like, yeah, okay, you guys take care of that. I gotta take care of something else. He goes into the other room and he realizes that his shoulder is dislocated. And he's like peeling off his bat chute, which is like really tight. And he's like holding his shoulder and he's gonna try to like pop it back into place, and Wonder Woman walks in. She's like, yeah, let me do it. So she pops it back in and he's like, you want a drink? And he had talked to her about, you know, why aren't you a symbol like Superman was, you know? Why are you like living in the shadows and shit? I'll tell you what, you know what? If we make it through the night, you can stay in the shadows all you want. And you can even dress up like a bat and fight crime. I won't sue you. She's like, yeah, okay. If we make it through the night, okay. And we cut to Superman and Lois and she's like, hey, you know, we've been here for like a couple hours and you won't even go in the house. Yeah, well, I just got out of a wooden box. She goes, yeah. What was that like, by the way, coming back to life? And he goes, itchy. She cries and she's like, you know what? I'm sorry. I wasn't strong when you died. I was like a blubbering maniac. I totally lost who I was and everything. And he's like, did you call my mom? She's like, yeah. He goes, don't worry, babe. I'm here. I'm back. Okay. Everything's going to be fine. And I will fix all this shit. She's like, I had really hoped it would take longer for you to recover. Why? Because now I got to send you away. And he goes, Bruce. Yeah, he needs you. Then his mom drives up. And she's all crying. He's like, yeah, Mom, it's me. I'm back from the dead. Like every mother's dream, you know, like worst situation you could be in. And guess what? Get out of jail free. So after they had flown away and Batman was like, oh, something's bleeding. Steppenwolf just like flew in on the boob tube and stole the box that none of them were guarding because they had all just been fighting Superman. So yeah, now he's got all three. Anyway, we cut to him in Russia, and he's like, praise the unity, and he puts the boxes together. They start pulsating and shit, and then they like shoot a fucking beam out of them, and it comes up over the fucking power plant, and then it makes a big hard shell dome around it. Okay? And then it begins to change the planet, like around them, like all into fire and shit, and the sky is red. And Steppenwolf is like, praise to the mother of horrors. And then Cyborg, doing his, like, you know, planet scan, he's like, yeah, I found him. He's in Russia. Well, how far away is that? Well, that's across the world. How long is it going to take for him to, you know, kill the planet, pretty much? Only a few hours. Batman goes, my transport won't fly that fast. Cyborg's like, it will for me. And then it cuts to them fucking launching away in the fucking flying transport. His spaceship. Okay, it's coming up out of the fucking water around the Batcave. Alfred is like standing there watching it. And it flies away.
The trunk is filled with over 75 pounds of homemade C4 explosive that I personally packed in there with my own two...
So they're in the ship and they're like sitting on the... They're sitting around the cargo hold or whatever, which has the Batmobile in it, and Aquaman's sitting on top of the Batmobile. Cyborg's telling him, okay, look, I'm pretty sure that because I'm a product of the box, I can use my powers to separate them. Or create some sort of reaction where they'll be working against each other. I don't fucking know. Only Cyborg can separate the boxes. That's the point. And Aquaman is like, we're all gonna die. Wait, what do you mean? Yeah, you know, we're all gonna die here, but, I'm still glad I'm a part of this, you know, because, you know, I've just been a loner all my life. I've been a loner for far too long, and, you know, I push people away, and, I'm just glad, you know, to finally be with some people that are, you know, doing something really good. And Batman's looking at him. They're all looking at him all weird, and Batman just, like, looks down, and he, like, nods at him, like, I think you're sitting on something. Aquaman reaches underneath himself and pulls out the lasso of truth.
That's awesome.
He gives it back to Wonder Woman. She's like, yeah, no, that was good, though. That was really good. But while he was saying all that, he had looked at everybody and he was like, you know, Superman's a no-show. You know, you two, you know, you guys all have things fucking wrong with you and shit. We've all got something wrong with us, you know. And he looks at Wonder Woman and he's like, but you're fucking gorgeous. So now the transport arrives over the big dome, okay? Batman's like, okay, you guys, you're all gonna go in and fight Steppenwolf, and I am gonna break the fucking dome, and I'm gonna take care of all the buzzmen, okay? Don't wait for me. I'm a hero. It's okay. You do your thing. So he flies away in the spaceship. He flies in there, fucking crashes through that dome. Yep, breaks it down. It's fucking cool. But now his ship is crashing. But just before it does, he launches out the back of it in the fucking Batmobile. Which, I'm sorry, man, looks fucking awesome. I love this Batmobile. And he starts driving through the streets of, you know, the power plant, I guess. And he starts playing his siren, which then attracts all of the buzzy demons to him. And they are this giant fucking swarm. Once that happens, that little Russian family, who has been trapped in their house the entire time because it's been surrounded by fucking buzzy demons, they're like, holy shit, let's get the fuck out of here. They go out, they jump in their truck, and they drive away. Wonder Woman has her, like, big moment of growth, and she's like, okay, on my lead. And then all of the rest of the Justice League, they're like, they start running for the fucking power plant. Batman is like doing donuts in the streets, like shooting all these demons with his Sam Penny guns and shit. And then all of a sudden, the rest of the teammates show up to help him. Like, they didn't go after Steppenwolf, they're helping Batman. And he's like, what are you doing? This isn't part of the plan. Alfred over the radio says, no, sir. This is the team. So it's like, fuck yeah. Cyborg's like, don't blame the lady, man. She's the one who told us to come help you, and she did not put it up for a vote. So she might like Batman. Aquaman's yelling at Batman through the Batmobile, and he's like, yeah, man, you're fucking crazy, man. Look at you, dressed like a bat, fucking doing this shit. It's fucking awesome. Batman's like, I'm not the one who brought a pitchfork. So they kill most of these fuckers, and they go into the power plant. Wonder Woman challenges Steppenwolf first. And he's like, all right, bitch, let's do this. Then right behind him is Aquaman. So they team up on him. And it's a three-way. Cyborg goes to the boxes and starts trying to, he like puts his hands in them and does all this weird meldy robot shit with it. And he's like working on them, he has to like pulse on them for a while. I don't know. The Flash, he's on bug duty. He has to like run around the inside of the power plant and like zap the fucking Bumblebee man. He gets into some trouble and he falls, and then all of a sudden he stops falling. And there's Batman who shot a grappling hook on him. It's cool. I'm watching out for you, buddy. Steppenwolf breaks away from the other two, and he pulls Cyborg off of the cubes. And they're all on this bridge, and Wonder Woman then fucking breaks it so that they all fall down. Then Alfred's like, hey, I have civilians going east. They're not going to make it, Batman. He's like, okay, I'm on it. And then he's like, Flash, I got a job for you. Now it just cuts to Flash, like, running out from the power plant to go off and save these civilians who are now being chased by, like, bugmen and also, like, weird giant tentacle dicks that, like, come in and out of the fucking ground. And it's what the cubes use to, transform the earth, I guess. Mm-hmm. And he's just running full bore off in the distance. And he's like, God, I hope this is east. Then Steppenwolf picks Cyborg up and rips his fucking leg off. Oh. And he's like, you're too weak. You are all too weak to see the truth. And then you hear Superman's voice. And he's like, I believe in truth. Steppenwolf turns around and he's like, fuck. And then Superman goes, I'm a pretty big fan of justice too. And then he beats that motherfucker's ass. It's like, Daddy's home. Okay? Batman's like, Daddy's home. He beats Steppenwolf up and like throws him away pretty much. And then he looks at Batman. He's like, all right, what do I do? What can I do to help? What do you need? Batman's like, you gotta buy Cyborg some time. He's the only one that can fucking separate the cubes. We gotta buy him some time, okay? And then Superman goes, yeah, I knew you didn't wake me up because you liked me. And then Batman is like looking at him and he goes, I don't not like you. So then they start fighting, fucking Steppenwolf again, and they're beating him up. And then Superman stops and he like uses his Superman sense. And he's like, civilians, there's civilians in danger. Batman's like, yeah, no, it's cool. I got the Flash on it. He's out there taking care of it. No. There's way too many for him to take care of. And then Superman just fucking leaves the fight. And it's like, fuck! He flies away. Now we cut to the Flash, who's still running after this family of civilians, right? And then he's running, and he looks over to his right, and Superman is just flying right next to him. And he looks over at him and he says,
what are you doing? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm so fucked here.
So they're coming up on these civilians, and Superman says, all right, you get the ones on the left, I'll get the ones on the right. Yeah, cool. So then the Flash comes upon the family in the truck, and their truck has like broken down, and they're all about to get killed or whatever. And the Flash is looking at the little girl in the bed of the truck, and he's like, okay, you hold on. All right? And she's like, okay. Because she doesn't speak English. She holds onto the truck, and he's like, all right, cool. And then he just pushes the truck all fucking fast. I don't know how they didn't fly out. And they get away. And then he looks over to the right, and Superman is flying by with a giant building in his arms that is full of fucking people. And he's like, damn it. So back with Steppenwolf, Wonder Woman and Aquaman, they're fucking beating him up and shit.
What does Aquaman fight with? Does he fight with his trident?
Yeah, and his cock. Was that a setup?
He doesn't have like dolphins coming and helping him and shit.
Shoot water, something like that.
Nah, he doesn't shoot water. He shoots cum. Look at it. Definitely felt like a setup there. So you set it up, I'll knock it down, Candy. So while they're fighting him, Superman shows back up, and he goes over to Cyborg, and he's like, all right, man, what do we do now? And Cyborg's like, okay, I got him, they're weakened and shit, but I think I'm going to need some help pulling them apart, so you and me can do it. And there is definitely going to be some blowback, okay? Superman's like, yeah, but how bad's it going to be? Cyborg's like, I think you and me can take it. All right, cool, because I really like being alive again, okay? So then they pull it apart, and it fucking explodes.
Big ass titties!
And now Cyborg and Superman are both fucking laid out. Like laying on the fucking ground. Totally motionless. And you just hear Superman go, I take it back. I take it back. I want to die. Yeah, that got a huge laugh in the theater. So, they get up, and then Steppenwolf is still there, and he's like, all right, yeah, I'm weak, but, fuck this. I ain't going down without a fight. And then Superman just, uses his freezing breath and, freezes his axe in his hands and shit. Wonder Woman jumps up and shatters that shit with her sword. It's fucking awesome. And then Steppenwolf is like, oh, fuck. Okay, shit. Now, Aquaman and Batman, they're, watching the whole thing from, some ledge. Aquaman says, hey, you smell that? Batman goes, yeah, fear. And then all of the buzzy demons start swarming towards Steppenwolf.
Oh.
And he's like, no, 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 no. And they just fuck the shit out of him. And they drag him back up the fucking boob tube.
Nice.
So he's dragged away to hell or something. Anyway, they disappear, and then his little horny helmet, ding, 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 lands on the ground. So, yay, Indy, we've won the day. And now the power plant, it's all still ugly from the damage that the boxes did, but now strange alien flowers start growing out of it, and life is going to be beautiful now. The little girl from the family is like, oh, flowers. She, picks one, and then, somehow ruined her life. I don't know. She gave her cancer. So that's it, man. Now we got the epilogue. Okay. And we see them moving Martha's shit back into the farmhouse. They're taking it back. Clark is standing there with Bruce, and he's like, yeah, it's really cool, getting the house back. Yeah, we're just, we are simply correcting a mistake. That's what's happening here. Yeah, well, how did you get the farm back from the bank, I bought the bank. You bought the whole bank? Now we see Barry Allen, and he is visiting his dad in prison. And he holds up a paper, and he's like, look, man, it's pretty much the shittiest job in a crime lab. But yeah, I got a job in a fucking police crime lab, man. And Billy Crudup is like, put your hand on the glass. I love you, son. Now watch me jack off. This shows Cyborg, in his dad's apartment, look at what I can do with my body now. And he, morphs his, shitty-looking cyborg body into a much more streamlined, nice suit, which is from this other comic called, New 52 or something. I don't know. See Aquaman, and he's like, yeah, fuck it. Just go back to Atlantis. Don't be such an asshole. Go back home. Let that village die. And then we see Bruce and Diana and Alfred, and they're walking into a long-forgotten area of Wayne Manor. It's all, dilapidated and shit, but it's huge. And Bruce is like, yeah, I think this would be nice. We'll fix this up, okay? We'll have a nice big round table here in the center with 6 chairs. Yeah, how about that? And then Diana's like, and room for more. Yeah, and room for more. So, that's going to become the Hall of Justice. Okay. We also see Superman, and he is in his Clark Kent outfit, and he's a reporter again. He's walking around the city. And, at some point he hears like a police siren or something like that. And then he like reaches up and pulls his shirt open, and there's the big S, just like in the old school Superman movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the credits roll, baby.
All right.
Yeah, there you have it.
Awesome.
So I knew we'd have a couple of stingers that stuck around. And, the mid-credit stinger is out in the middle of nowhere on this old country road. The Flash and Superman. Yeah. So, the Flash is like, Superman, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you doing this, really. And Superman's like, it's fine. I'm actually pretty curious myself. So, which coast? Well, I've never seen the Pacific. And he points off in a direction, and then Superman like moves his hand like it's in that direction. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I totally knew that. Anyway, Superman goes, so what do I get if I win? I don't know. Bruce said something about you taking us all out to brunch. The Flash is like, okay, that is offensive. I told him that in a moment of vulnerability. But okay. But if I win, I get to tell everyone. And Superman's like, deal. And then the Flash like picks up a little firecracker and he lights it just by flicking the fuse, and he throws it, and then it goes off, and then they just they race away.
Yeah. That is so cool.
So then after the credits, we are in some prison, okay? And one of the guards is like, you, Luthor, come on, get out of your cell. We see bald-ass Lex Luthor just standing in his cell with his back to the door. He's like, Luthor, motherfucker, get the fuck out here. Oh, man, I am gonna beat you to fucking death, bitch. And Luthor just like, still not moving. So he walks in there, grabs his shoulder and turns him around, and it's some other prisoner who's just like, old and laughing. And the guard is like, oh, shit. And then it cuts to this really super nice motherfucking huge yacht. It's pretty much the Argonautica. And there's like a speedboat like going out to meet this yacht. And there's a guy on the speedboat. He's in the shadows. We can't see him, but he has 2 swords crossed over his back. Okay. And I was like, it's Deadpool. And then it shows on the yacht. Yep. Lex Luthor sitting there living it up. He has escaped and he is back at his hijinks. And it's bald Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, yes, hi. And the guy's like walking on. He's like, I was really thinking, with everything that's going on here, I was thinking that we really need to, level the playing field. And it shows the guy that got off of the speedboat, and it is Deathstroke. And then Lex Luthor says, I was just thinking, isn't it time that we have a league of our own? And then Deathstroke like pulls off his fucking mask or whatever, and we see his face. He's got all this like white hair and a beard, but I think he's the guy that played the werewolf in True Blood. I don't know.
No, that's him, Joe Manganiello.
Yeah,
I don't know if I said that. Oh yeah, yeah. He's getting his own Deathstroke movie.
Yep.
Oh, he should.
And it's being directed by the guy who did the Raid movies.
Oh,
yeah. Everyone's excited about that.
Oh, well, now I am too.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, so that's it.
Good job, Ron.
Thanks. Yeah, there you have it,
Very
folks.
good.
Justice League on Movies with Ron.
All right.
What'd you think, Rick?
I thought it was good.
Yeah. You like Jesse Eisenberg?
Listen, man, I like The Flash.
Damn.
I think he's a good Lex Luthor, and I liked him as a bad guy in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't, but he was that everyone says the bad guys suck in all these comic book movies. He's one bad guy who doesn't suck.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm glad Superman's back.
Oh, yeah.
Batman versus Superman was still, I mean, Wonder Woman was exciting, but it was still bittersweet. Superman dying. That was hard. It was painful.
Oh, we knew he wasn't really dead.
Yeah. Well, Daddy's home.
Yeah.
I see what you were saying about the Marvel movies versus the DC universe. Marvel put out so many movies, worked so hard at that with all the Iron Man movies, Thor.
Yeah, the Marvel universe is global.
It took time to put that together, and this was.
It was about.
You're right. It felt like a rush job getting them all together.
Yeah, this movie was about like 6 guys.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
6 guys and a Russian family.
But yeah, man, I guess we're going to have one more resurrection, aren't we? In the Marvel universe, anyway.
What do you mean?
Captain America.
He's not dead.
I thought we killed him.
No.
I thought Civil War killed him.
We're going to redo a lot of stuff in the DC universe, though.
Did you see Civil War?
The first bit of it.
Okay. It was a metaphorical death. He is not dead.
See, everyone's, the DC films aren't doing so well.
Right.
And, but people still like certain things about them. A lot of people like The Flash.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Including this guy here.
He's going to have his own movie called Flashpoint.
I'm hearing about this.
Yeah. In the comics, he goes back in time to save his mom. Right? Yeah. But that starts a butterfly effect. He comes back to the present, and everything is different.
Yeah.
The Flashpoint movie is happening.
That sounds
Because the thing is like, Ben Affleck doesn't want to be Batman
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's
I
like,
quit.
Yeah.
Swear to me.
So Flashpoint's going to happen. The Flash is going to come back to the present, and it's going to be like a different guy playing Batman.
Do you guys know who the new Batman is the new favorite for Batman's going to be?
No.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Rick has a look on his face like, no fucking way. But that is what we all thought about Ben Affleck. So I'm not selling him short.
Yeah.
I think he can do it.
I think he can do it.
I am not convinced.
As long as he does the voice changer.
Yeah.
That Ben Affleck does.
So, Ron, you sounded like you were a fan of Cyborg. And
oh, yeah.
You favored him over Aquaman. Were you not impressed with Aquaman? Which one was cooler?
Aquaman was cool. Okay, he was way cool, guys. Listeners, he was cool. But Cyborg, like, always had the answers. They could not have done this without Cyborg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up. Who would I rather be? Yeah, probably Aquaman. Super sexy giant cock?
Yeah. Has a cock.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go.
That's what I wanted to happen at the end. Hey, Dad, look what I got.
Well, I choose to believe that did happen.
Remember...
I am Cheppy.
No, his dad...
I am Cheppy. I made a dick. Cheppy has dick.
Remember...
Cheppy has penis. Cheppy wants it. Watch me, Daddy.
All right, folks. If you like jerking off, leave us a rating and review. We'd love to hear from you. We got Twitter at Movies with Ron. There's a Facebook page. We got movieswithron.com. We're out there. Check us out. All right. It's been fun.
Yep. Love you.
Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Movies with Ron.
I never learned to read.